Welcome to the Money Innovator. I'm Said and I'll be your host today. Today we're talking about a concept called all or nothing. So often when we think about financial situations that we're dealing with, we put it into a box of all or nothing. My goal today is to help you look for the in-between option of that. Let me give you an example of what I mean by all or nothing. I had a client who was talking about moving to a new, more expensive location, and she lived on a fixed income. So she was wondering, can I afford to move here for the rest of my life? Again, all or nothing. Can I afford to move to the new location for the rest of my life? Another example is I had an employer who was considering hiring a new employee, but he just wasn't sure if his business could afford the weight of having to pay this person as a full-time employee. Again, it was hired as a full-time person or not. All or nothing. In each of these cases, they were both looking at it as an all or nothing sort of a thing. I say yes or I say no. I want you to rethink through this thought pattern. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. There is, in fact, an in-between. For the gal who was considering moving, instead of saying, I'm moving for the rest of my life, why not try it for a year or two? Thankfully, she was already renting here, and she'd be renting in her new location. She had an emergency fund, so she had some money to fall back if things didn't go well. She didn't need to make this as a forever decision. This is just, let's try it. Let's give it a shot. And if something bad happens, I have some emergency fund and I can always go back. Plan B, move back to where I came from if it ends up not being what I had hoped it was going to be. So instead of it putting into this binary, yes, no, it's a try it. See is there an in-between. For the employer who was considering hiring a new person, instead of thinking of it as I have to hire this person full-time, try out for part-time. See if someone is willing to work for 20 or 10 hours a week. You can really scale that back down. It doesn't have to be I'm hiring a full-time person or not at all. You don't have to take on someone as full-time just because that's what's considered normal or proper. Someone might want only to work 10 or 20 hours in a week. Maybe they have a side hustle or a side gig that they're doing. So you're not inconveniencing people. You're still giving people the opportunity to have a job, but you don't have to take on that burden yourself just because you think that's what's normal. One of the best questions you can ask yourself is this decision reversible? Can I go back to the way it was without totally disrupting my life or costing too much money? Can I switch back the way it was without too much pain or inconvenience? If the answer is yes, then obviously it sounds like there's a good in-between there where you don't have to go full bore, 100% yes or no. Another question is, can I try it for a certain period of time? We hear all these free trials about everything constantly, but once in a while, we should honestly think about taking them up on that, especially if you're genuinely considering making a purchase about whatever. Maybe do the free trial and see if you do like it. And don't feel obligated. That's what these companies are doing it for. They obviously want you to buy it. They think you will buy it, and they think it's going to be inconvenient if you get it and then you want to take it back. But, that's part of the risk. If you want to try something new or you want to buy something, hey, if there is a free trial, or if you can, like in that gal, if she can move for a short period of time and come back, that's not so inconvenient. Another question is to ask yourself, what is the worst thing that can happen? And I definitely don't mean like emotionally or any other way. We're sticking to finance here. Try to calculate how much money could this cost me if I make this decision, hiring these employees, taking on a big project. Is that going to set me back? Will I never be able to recover from it? Am I getting into a contract that's multiple years long that's going to affect my life? If that's the case, then obviously there's not much in between. But if that's not the case, then maybe you're able to jump in. There are, of course, many other factors at play that we really can't get into today. But I just want you to think about it as a perspective. Is this really an all or nothing thing? Is there an in-between? Can I find some balance here? Let me give you one last example. I have a lot of clients who consider switching banks because they hate their bank for whatever reason. But they're like, I have all these automatic payments, the direct deposits and the credit cards and all of that already connected. It's going to be such a hassle to switch over. Well, let's think about, is this going to be a challenge here? Let's go back to some of the questions that we asked. Is it reversible? Yes. Switching banks is very easily reversible. You can just close down the other bank. If you're feeling bad about the first one and the second one turns out to not be, maybe it's even worse. All right, easily reversible, close that account and keep the one you had, or try another new one because it's not that big of a deal. The other question, can I try it for a period of time? Yes. You could set up the new account and you don't have to switch everything day one. You can take your time. You can slowly maybe get the direct deposit going in there, maybe slowly switch the credit cards to the new bank. You don't have to go crazy here and just say, I'm all or nothing. I'm closing the old bank and having the new one. I actually know a lot of clients who think you can only even have one bank account, or have one bank. You can have many bank accounts. You can have many different banks. What's the worst that can happen? Obviously you just wasted a little bit of time. So pretty much there's nothing bad about that. But you just get into the pattern of asking yourself these questions of how bad is it? Is it reversible? Can I try it out for a little bit of time? Then you're not locking yourself into something for the rest of your life or what feels like forever. You can just try it and make a decision after the fact. In conclusion, I'm hoping this helps you make financial decisions a little bit easier for you. It's not always an all or nothing decision. Sometimes there's an in-between that you can find by asking yourself some questions and really thinking about the worst case scenario. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day and live your life to the fullest and eat cinnamon rolls all day long. They're the best.